In part 37 of Fire Emblem Engage, we start by heading up the mountain to find the second felled dragon shard that we were warned about by Zephia. The shard does appear to be underwater, so we use that thing Zephia gave us, and it seems to work, but in the process, we got split up from everybody. So Alir goes and tries to find the others, but instead runs into another Alir. Turns out, instead of draining the lake or raising a mountain, it was apparently easier to send us 1,000 years into the past, where we run into ourselves before we side with Lumera against Sombron. We decided to just leave him and find our friends, because, what are we supposed to do? Kill our past selves? And past Alir is left confused about how there's someone with his face and an emblem. So we meet with the rest of the squad, who are being followed by Zephia. And our squad is very confused because they don't realize we're in the past until they see past Alir. Past Alir sends Zephia away to inform Sombron, while we fight past Alir and his evil Marth with our Alir and good Marth. Now listen, I am a big fan of Engage. I've played it multiple times. It's good. The combat's good, but sometimes the map design like this one just sucks. Listen, it's just bad. So first of all, divide our army into 3, which is frustrating because it's hard to make 3 smaller, well-balanced squads, especially if you're going with the typical my whole army is fighting their whole army, going my 3 smaller squads. You don't balance out typically. On top of that, there are ballistas, reinforcements, and true damage wyverns. All this isn't too terrible, but definitely frustrating. But then we get to the map gimmick, which is that every so often, every 2 to 3 turns, there's an avalanche in one of the 3 lanes that pushes every unit as far back as it can go unless that path is blocked. So you have to continuously push forward, but always try to get get in front of something before the avalanche comes. I decided that the best plan is to try and deal with the gimmick as little as possible. I essentially decided to move everybody after the initial enemies to the middle pass with the boss. This way, I essentially will have 4 to 6 turns, depending on exactly how long the thing takes, before I have to actually interact with the gimmick again. Now, I still have some enemies coming from both the passes, their connector points, but Tamara is strong enough that she can cover the north pass while Madeline covers the south path. Now, this whole map sucks, but at least the boss is pretty easy to cheese, since they only have 1 ranged weapons, being Alir, a sword block unit, with Marth, who is a sword blocked emblem. So I use a freeze staff to prevent them from approaching us, while everybody just hits past Alir with all the spells, arrows, and javelins they have. The frustrating level at least had an easy ending. And with that, the chapter ends. Vale wonders if the whole time travel thing and fighting your past self may have had consequences. But at the start of the game, we had amnesia, so, we should be fine, right? Well, it turns out it does have an effect, as Pastelir then runs into Lumera, and Lumera reminds Pastelir of us with the blue hair and the eyes. And Lumera is nice to him, which makes him second-guess killing the Divine Dragon and siding with Sombron, when instead he could potentially side with her and not be, considered useless and fed to the corrupted. And this is how we go and side with her and kill Sombron. We then go and see Sombron with Zephia, where they go to the place where they first encountered us. Sombron doesn't typically make trips outside, but he wanted to see if that other emblem was here, which right now we don't know what that means. What do you mean this other emblem? There are only the 12 emblems and eventually us. Zephia then says that she wishes to have such loyal people like those who follow him. And Sombron says the answer is, you gotta have children. Zephia is confused at this, but then says that basically she's DTF'd Sombron and have his kids. Sombron, I presumably caught off guard, basically says, maybe after the war, and then leaves Zephia because she's probably weirding him out. At least wait until you've had a proper date before you start talking about having kids? Either way, we finally get back to Alir's group in the present time, who are getting ready to go to the 3rd and final Fell Dragon Shard. Vale typically leads us there, but she kind of shies away from it, saying that she's to rest first, which is kind of weird, right?